See, chocolate sex to me is code for anal, so...
Oh, now I'm really turned on.
I'm just asking. I hear chocolate sex, I'm thinking chocolate top, so...
I feel you.
Welcome back, this is Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, somehow we got to that from talking about a campfire argument over who's more deadly, Allah
and it wasn't even
God.
me. It wasn't even me this time.
That boy's good.
Yeah. All right, let's call it.
Right. Yeah.
All right, joining me is Thomas Smith of Thomas in the Bible, Atheistically Speaking, Comedy Shoeshine, and most recently Opening Arguments, which might be my favorite, which is mean because I really like Atheistically Speaking. I think it's a cool show. Thanks, Thomas.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, I love when people tell me which of my shows they like and don't like. That's always fun. It's like going up and telling someone their kids, like, "Yeah, I like this kid of yours, but I'm not a fan of that other one." But anyway. No, I'm just teasing.
The new kids might be a favorite.
I get it. I do too many podcasts for somebody to be able to enjoy all of them, even including myself. I don't.
How do you find time? I mean, that's what I really want to know.
I'm maxed out right now. It's very difficult, but
because you have a real job.
I do.
Right?
I do. I'm working on no longer having a real job. I should be able to within a year at the latest, so that'll help. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been a lot of work.
Sleep when you're dead, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I really just wanted to see where you were going with things, because I know you just finished the Bible on Thomas in the Bible. So are you going to do Apocrypha? Are you going to go Quran? You're going to do Book of Mormon?
Yeah, next week I'm tackling. I put it up to the listeners and the patron and all that, and the winner of, I had several options. I did have the Quran, I did have the Book of Mormon, all that. I put in a joke option of start the Bible over again. That got a few votes. but the overwhelming impulse that I think everybody shared was to do the books, some books that didn't make the Bible, and so that'll be interesting. That's going to be what I'm on to next.
Awesome.
It'll be hard. I have to try to determine how I want to break that down, like which ones I want to do, how much I want to read in an episode. A bunch of stuff I didn't really realize until I started getting toward the end of the show. I was like, whoa, this is going to be a whole different experience. But hoping it'll be fun. I'm hoping it'll be funny still. Well, I'll do best.
Well, that's all we can ask. So we were just speaking about Opening Arguments is your newest baby. Do you feel that... Well, I thought it was a fantastic move. I mean, I guess you just had Andrew on and decided, hey, this is awesome. We should keep doing this. Is that?
Are you asking how it came to be?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think the first thing that happened was Andrew, Facebook messaged me a long time ago about a legal issue. Something that I had said where he's like, hey, you might have gotten this wrong or whatever it was. And he's like, if you ever need a lawyer, let me know. Not personally, but like if you ever need a lawyer on the show to talk about any of this stuff, let me know. And I said, that's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind. And then sometime later, I don't even remember what the first thing that came up, but it might have been Scalia. I don't know. Some topic later, I was like, I want to talk to him. I had him on the show. He was just a wealth of information. And it was really cool. People really liked it. And then I had him on again. I had him on like a couple more times. And people kept saying, like, you should start a show, start a podcast with him, start a podcast. And as you've heard, I have too many podcasts. So I was never going to initiate that merely out of being too busy. But I had decided, and I think I've told Andrew this, but I don't remember. I had decided that if he asked me to do it, I was going to do it. But only then. Like, I wasn't going to initiate the idea. I wasn't, because I've just got too much to do. And eventually he's like, hey, so let's start a podcast. And I was like, oh, wait, is this first show?
No, you can drop all your F-bombs or whatever you'd like.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, fuck, he asked me, so I had to do it. I was like, fine, I'll do it. let's start a podcast. And it was,
God curses.
yeah, it was an incredible amount of work. I nearly died trying to launch that thing. Like I was working around the clock just trying to get it all launched. And we tried to launch with like extra episodes and stuff. And, but it's, I can't tell you how worthwhile it has been. Because Andrew's great and the show is great. I think I can say that because it's mainly him. It's not me. And it's just information that people want. Like I've never had in my other shows. I mean, I get emails, I get comments, whatever. But in this show, it's just person after person is emailing their questions like, oh, I want to know this. I need to know this. I need to know this. The inbox is crazy. Like people just really want his expertise. And it's perfect. I'm glad that he'll correct major kind of misconceptions about stuff that's in the news or lots of things, and it's just real. I'm glad to be to be helping get more accurate information out into the world. You know.
Yeah, he's super knowledgeable, and I love hearing him talk. It's really good.
Yeah.
And you guys play really well off each other.
Oh, thanks.
Because you ask questions. You ask questions I wouldn't think to ask. You know, like honestly. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, but just like I like the way you think.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I suppose that would definitely be my goal, and I'm glad to hear that. That makes me really feel like maybe I'm offering something to the show. We'll see. I'll go tell Andrew that. Hey, I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there's one guy out there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get that in writing? Can I get it? Yeah.
Get it notarized for you. Make it legal. Where did you guys come up with the name? I mean.
Oh,
first.
You know, I think I did. As bad as I am at naming things, because Thomas and the Bible, not very good. Comedy Shoeshine is a hilarious inside joke, so that's fine. I don't count that. That's a wash. And atheistically speaking, I'm not the best at naming things, but that one I do feel pretty good about. Like everyone kept saying, hey, start a podcast, call it Legally Speaking a million times. And we looked it up, and there's like several things called Legally Speaking. So we're kind of like, well, let's try to find something that nobody else is using. And we had some good ideas. I know actually Andrew's son came up with some good ideas. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it was fun because we had everybody brainstorming, and I don't know. Eventually, I thought of opening arguments somehow. It just popped into my brain. I was like, it's perfect because a bit of a double meaning. Mm-hmm. And it was just good enough. I was like, yeah, that's a good name. It's I don't know. I'm probably more pleased with it than anything else I've ever named, except my cats.
Nice. No, it's funny. It's like I was listening to NPR and they're talking about opening arguments today. I went, damn it. That's all I think.
Like they're talking about actual opening arguments.
Actual case, exactly. Yeah. That was pretty funny because the first thing I thought of. That it's funny how like
I thought they were actually talking about us for a sec. I was gonna get excited.
No. You guys aren't there yet. You could be though. You guys could probably be there.
Hey, Sam Harris tweeted us. So
yeah, I know that was pretty sweet.
It was.
I actually pimped you guys to. We had a lawyer on our show a couple months back, a local guy here, and I think the question was about. It was right after Scalia, and some of his stuff, and. We thought about having like a weekly segment with him, and then it just, the lawyers are so busy.
Yeah, true. That's, I think, part of being able to do this, I think, was for Andrew, and he could talk a lot better about it, obviously, his personal story. And one day I actually want to do an episode on it because he's mentioned it, but he left kind of the big law firm life, because it was really rough, and he has a lot of terrible stories about it. Sure, he was making a lot of money, but he had no life. He had no, just a lot of stuff like that. And he decided to open his own firm and start his own firm. And I think that's what's given him the time. So he's still a busy guy, but he's a little more in control of his time than he would have been otherwise. And so I think that's if it weren't for that, I don't think he ever would have been able to do the show. So.
It's always harder when you're working for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And they make you they work you a lot at those firms, so I'm told. And so it'll be interesting if I ever get to record an episode of that with him on opening arguments, because. Oh, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh,
can you hear me?
I hope you edit. Sorry, I think my sound just went all wonky.
Oh yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you got an edit?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay, got it.
I'll be.
But it's really interesting to hear about some of the crazier things that have happened when he was in that firm. And I think that'll make a good episode one day. But yeah, that's why he can do it.
Nice. I think I think like the concept is really, really cool, and especially with us being atheists and a lot of stuff that pertains to us, First Amendment kind of stuff, and like basically we usually just have Andrew Slidell is like the guy, and then it's nice having Andrew Torres to with you explaining stuff that you wouldn't think, like you'd be the
you'd be the Supreme Court episodes?
Yeah, thank you. Blanked out like an idiot there. That was awesome.
That's okay.
But that part is really neat because there's like a thing going on in Oklahoma right now where the Catholics are trying to get money from the state to help pay for their schools and to help the Catholic programs. I'm like, dude, you already get money from the state because you don't pay any freaking taxes.
Yeah. Hey, well, send your questions to Open Arguments or whatever. I can't remember the Gmail. We weren't able to get the same thing for everything. Yeah, anyway. openarguments@gmail. Send your legal questions to Andrew Torres there.
Excellent. That's really cool. So, so you're planning on getting out of your real job and podcasting full-time within a year, correct?
Yeah, it's crazy. Scary for sure, but it's definitely getting to that point, and I want to be able to have time to do a better job and make better stuff, and and also maybe have a life of some kind. Currently, I don't have that part. Currently, work has taken over my entire life, so it would be probably be in the best interest of my life and life's best interest that I someday have more time. So that'll help that a lot.
More time for yard work, man.
Yeah, fortunately, I solved that by not really having a yard. There's got a little bit of a yard in our house, but not much. So I avoided the having to do that.
I wanted to go condo, but the wife's like, no, let's get a house. Oh, fine.
Maintenance.
That's not bad.
Yeah. We definitely do have a lot of projects scheduled for when I quit that I'm going to be able to do, but hopefully, yeah, I'll have time for lots of stuff.
You have so many podcasts. Was that a plan, or it just kept building? Like, oh, well, I want to do this one day, and I want to do this one day.
Okay, I can tell you the plan. So, I started off with Thomas and the Bible. I'm sure I don't know, you're probably familiar, but I just decided to read the Bible, and it was back kind of. Podcasts were still pretty new back in 2010. Like, obviously they were around, but they weren't huge yet. And I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. And I'll do a podcast, and if people want to listen, fine. If not, like I did it with a mindset that like nobody's going to listen to this, but maybe in 1,000 years, archaeologists will dig it up and be like, wow, this guy had way too much time on his hands to read this terrible book that we all know now is a completely fake piece of garbage. But anyway, and that will be depressing for somebody in the future. So that was my original intent, and then and then I think what happened then I wanted to just start recording kind of a comedy show with my brother, because that's truly the only podcast of mine that isn't work, because I love doing it so much, is Comedy Shoe Shine. Now, I love doing my podcast, but there's a lot of work involved. And so they take time, they take editing, they take a lot of stuff. But Comedy Shoe Shine, which originally was called F This Podcast, is just really fun. It's just, we just get on, we keep kind of comedy notes throughout the week, and we just riff on stuff, and it's my favorite one. And so I did that, but then eventually I wanted to start talking about broader atheism issues and not have to just talk about the Bible, which is, a boring piece of garbage. So I was like, I think I want to start another show. And I actually, at the time, I had a friend that I started it with, but that he wasn't able to continue. He was too busy, and it just got to be too hard to keep up. So I took over it myself, and the point was to talk about issues that people disagree with each other, like that atheists would disagree with each other on, like stuff that I got tired of. I get bored by agreeing and by talking about stuff we all know, unless it's, insulting Trump a little bit more. That I can get behind. Like I can, I have patience for that and talking about just how awful he is. But I don't know. For the most part, I get kind of bored talking about stuff I agree with.